Fred Bourgault is now actually, well, it's about time. Anyway, no more screwing around. What we got going on here is they've started their opening discussions, going on, entering evidence, what's admissible, what's not. Everything into evidence, everything. I've got all kinds of notes. We've got to go back in, 2 o'clock. Opening arguments may or may not start. There's 5 veterinarians and 1 state veterinarian expert who are testifying as to what happened, what their findings were with Finish Line. Prosecution was trying to get his prior history, like being kicked out of Canada, or the 2 years for abusing horses in Canada. They even went so far as to try to have like his racing infractions, indiscriminate use of a whip and stuff like that, which I can get. They won't allow it because the rules have changed when it comes to priors and trying to compare, well, if he did this, he must have done that, even though in Canada, he was found guilty, sometimes I guess, of beating up horses over the head with burr head poles while on car ties. They're trying to the prosecution wants to make the connection that, this guy has a propensity to do stuff like this, which, if you know him, you can say what you want. But they won't allow it unless it's in direct questioning and brought up when he's put on the stand, if he's put on the stand. So they're not going to allow his prior history, fine. But the thing is, there's no jury here. So the jury is the judge. This is a bench trial. He waived his right to a jury because they know if a jury had gotten hold of this, they're going to look at this and say, this guy's whatever. Either way, the judge is aware. So I've got all kinds of notes. He was there with his new girlfriend, sitting right off to the side from me. I didn't realize it was him until somebody pointed it out. He was there. He looked scared to death. She's smug, giving sneers. Whatever. Bottom line is, to me, no matter what the outcome is, it's kind of like the OJ trial. If this guy walks away from this after all this, there's no hope for when it comes to protecting the horses. And, the same thing that happened with that clown. He may have walked away, but we know what really happened. So I'm going to do another video tonight with all my notes. A lot went on. A lot more is going to go on. There are 9 key witnesses, experts being brought in by the prosecution who over 3 days are going to be questioned. This isn't going to be a 1, 2, 3 job. Reconvenes, like I said, today at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow morning again at 10:30. And then again on Friday, because availability of witnesses, Friday, same time. And then depending how that goes, they'll schedule for next week. So a lot of questions have been brought up, and like, how was he licensed? The lead investigator of New York State Gaming is here and speaking to the prosecutor. The defense also brings up that how can harness racing, this is the funniest thing, how can harness racing, its governing bodies, commissions, and USTA use detrimental racing for any reason as a reason to banish people? Now, he's doing his job as, we see it as, thank you. They use that on the wrong people. At least this time it took, I was just telling one of the reporters that it took them, the USTA, pushing 2 years to finally pull his license, his membership from the USTA, because, when we caught him and his girlfriend keeping the horses with Al Annunziata, and finally, because they had egg on their face, New York State Gaming and everybody moved quick again, and the USTA finally used their Article 1, Section 4A, detrimental to harness racing executive vote, to rid themselves of Fred Bourgault. And these people are asking me, do you think they're going to, if he's innocent, are they going to give him his license back? No, I doubt it. Highly doubt it. It would look terrible. Again, the question is, why did they give him one in the first place? When he came here from Canada, after being tossed there years ago, for abusing animals. And then this TA in New York City give him licenses. It doesn't make any sense. And what else was I going to say? brought in to, and they say, well, we can't give you a license because you had seven, or you did this at this on record. It's not a court of law. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to be here tomorrow. We'll see what's going on Friday. Like I said, it's right down the street, so I can do what I gotta do. But this is what we've been waiting for. See if there's any accountability and penalty enforced on this clown. I told these people that you're not getting the whole story of how this began, who it was that first reported it. Nobody was aware until today of the Good Samaritan who reached out to pay for the exhumation of the finish line, pay for the necropsy of finish line, pay for the shipping of finish line. Nobody knew about this. And I guess it's of no consequence anyway, but people need to understand, like I told them, I said, there are people out there that may know exactly what went on. And they're not going to talk, and that's fear of repercussion, because people that called me from certain training centers are scared to say anything because, remember, it was the farm's equipment that buried that horse within 2 hours of his death. They also have in testimony, and it was brought up this morning, that the veterinarian who I spoke to, who put this animal to sleep, never examined him. Who does that? So there's the questions, and that's what this trial's for. So we'll see what comes of it. We'll take Levi. So I'm going back in. What time is it? Yeah. And I'm going to keep you all up to date. But again, the beings that suffer the most in this industry are the horses. And that's a damn shame. And you guys allow it. If anybody knows anything more that could add to the story of this horse and how he died, we're here. It's happening. Show up. Talk to the prosecutor. Don't be chickens.